The fourth episode of Hawkeye has dropped, and the watch, which apparently prompted the heist by the tracksuit mafia in the first episode that got Kate to wear the Ronin outfit, is relevant again all of a sudden. This is Exasperator Explains. The watch is introduced a bit awkwardly as Clint's wife reveals Duquesne is the head of the tracksuit mafia by basically just saying, "Oh, what about that watch?" Clint thought it was destroyed, but apparently has been around the whole time and has been trackable this whole time. But whose watch is it, and what is the importance? My initial thoughts from the first episode were that it belonged to Tony Stark. After all, we've seen some pretty fancy tech out of one of his watches before, and it came from Avengers Compound, but that doesn't line up with the wearer apparently being retired, which we found out in this episode. Retired could mean dead, but I don't think that's the case here. There are not a lot of candidates that you can consider to be retired in the MCU. Steve Rogers is a possibility, but I doubt we will get that scene with Steve on the moon like people seem to think happened in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Besides, that wouldn't really reveal how it could be such an important thing to find. A better possibility is that it belongs to Nick Fury. He had a close association with Barton, being director of S.H.I.E.L.D., and has been off the grid for a long time, and apparently off planet. Since Clint said the watch could blow their cover, it's reasonable to believe that it may contain sensitive information about himself and others that Fury would have wanted to keep close at hand. Perhaps it's personnel files of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, or maybe even the files of candidates for the Avengers Initiative. If it winds up in Kate's hands at the end of the series, it could even help propel a Young Avengers show, with her trying to track down and save candidates who someone like the Kingpin could be hunting down. Or the easiest explanation is that could be Clint's watch. He seems to have grown pretty comfortable talking about himself in the third person, referring to Ronin doing things. He seems to consider himself retired. Maybe it's just a watch he used as Ronin to track targets, and information remaining on the watch could lead back to his family. It was found right next to a list of his family's information in Echo's apartment, meaning she may have gotten some information off of it already. However, there are also other obvious reasons Maya would be looking into Hawkeye. The other big event in the episode is bringing in Yelena from Black Widow into the mix. Teased in the after-credits scene of the Black Widow movie, she believes Clint murdered Natasha and is after revenge, though she doesn't seem to be doing it very well. She hits him with Widow Blasts, which could have been from something lethal, and completely got the drop on him too, so maybe she wants to inflict some pain first, I guess? Also, not talking at all during the fight or when she leaves, eliminating any possibility of a peaceful conclusion before the next encounter, was an interesting touch. She even wore the night vision goggles with the multiple eyes on them meant to mimic a spider straight out of the comics, which made me realize it was her right away. We obviously haven't seen the last of her, and I'm sure we will get some sort of conversation between the two that reveals what actually happened on Vormir. I'm sure that's why they've been so heavy-handed with how much her death has affected Clint, including a flashback in this episode, so the topic won't feel like it's coming out of nowhere when it comes up. Overall, it was a decent episode, but one that did a lot more to set things up for the final two episodes than have any big payoffs in this one. We've brought in the Widow, the Watch, and some last-minute turmoil between Clint and Kate that I could have done without. I think it would be better if he just accepted her, and now we have to go through a whole thing again where she comes to help or whatever, even though we've already had that scene. But what did you think of the episode? Whose watch do you think it is? Do you think Yelena will be a more prominent role or just pop in and out through the final two episodes? Let me know in the comments. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thanks for watching. Bye.